Be me, 34, architect. Not the draw a house on a napkin kind, the spend 3 weeks calculating wind load on a cantilevered terrace kind. Obsessive, detail-oriented. Co-founded Vertex Group 5 years ago with Leo. Leo is the face, charismatic, dazzling smile, could sell sand to a Bedouin. I am the hand. I do the work. I make the building stand up. We were a golden duo, married to Sarah for 4 years. Sarah is an interior designer. She worked with us. The three of us were a tripod, unshakable, or so I thought. We land the Onyx Project, 50-story mixed-use tower in downtown Seattle, the kind of project that makes a career. My magnum opus. I spent 6 months living in that office, sleeping on a drafting table, eating takeout that had gone cold hours ago. Sarah would bring me coffee, kiss my forehead. "You're building our future, babe," she'd say. Leo was out securing investors, which meant expensive dinners, bottle service, and schmoozing with foreign capital. I didn't mind. I hated the suits. I loved the steel. Fast forward to the design review. Tuesday morning, rain hitting the glass like bullets. I walk into the conference room. Leo is there. Sarah is there. And a guy I don't know. Mid-40s. Black turtleneck. Glasses that cost more than my car. "Mark," Leo says, too loud. "This is Julian. We've brought him on as a creative consultant." My stomach does a little flip. Consultant? "The designs are done, Leo. We break ground in 3 months. Julian smiles. It doesn't reach his eyes. "The designs are structurally sound," Julian says. "But aesthetically, they lack the zeitgeist." I look at Sarah. She's looking at the table, tracing the grain of the wood with her finger. "Sarah?" I ask. She looks up. Her eyes are hard. "He's right, Mark. Your brutalist approach, it feels heavy. We need light. We need air. It's a skyscraper, Sarah. It needs to not fall down." Leo stands up, puts a hand on my shoulder. "We're pivoting, buddy. Julian has some ideas for a modular glass facade." "Modular glass? On a seismic fault line? Are you insane? It saves us 20% on materials," Leo says. The mask slips for a second. "It's about the money." "I won't sign off on it," I say. "My stamp is on the blueprints. I'm the lead architect." Silence in the room. The air conditioner hums. "Actually," Leo says, voice dropping an octave, "we've been reviewing the partnership agreement." My heart hammers against my ribs. "The board voted this morning, Mark." "What board?" "It's us. It's just us. And the investors," Leo corrects. "The majority stakeholders." I realize I've been busy drawing beams while Leo was busy selling equity. "You're out as lead architect," Leo says. "We're moving you to an advisory role. Emeritus status." "Emeritus? I'm 34. "Take a break, Mark," Sarah says, softly, like she's talking to a sick dog. "You're burnt out. We all see it." I look at her. Really look at her. She's wearing a new bracelet. Diamond tennis bracelet. I didn't buy that. "How long?" I ask. "How long what?" Leo asks, feigning ignorance. "How long have you two been planning this?" Sarah sighs. "This isn't a conspiracy. It's business. You're too rigid. You won't adapt." I stand up. My legs feel like jelly. "If you change that facade, the wind shear will tear it apart." "Julian says it's within tolerance," Leo says, dismissing me with a wave. "Julian is a decorator," I spit out. "I'm an engineer." "Julian is the new lead," Leo says. "Cold now. Pack your things, Mark. Take the sabbatical. Or we buy you out at base value." I walked out, didn't pack a box, just took my sketchbook. Went home. Sarah didn't come home that night. Or the next. She texted on Thursday. "I think we need some space. You're in a dark place right now, and I can't be your therapist." I laughed. A dry, hacking sound in the empty house. I checked the bank accounts. Frozen. Pending audit of company assets. Leo played hardball. I had savings in a personal account, but the joint stuff was locked. I drank whiskey for a week. Watched the rain. Watched the news. Vertex Group announces revolutionary redesign of the Onyx Tower. I saw the rendering. It was beautiful, ethereal, and structurally suicidal. They removed the internal cross-bracing to create open-plan atriums. I called Leo. Voicemail. I called Sarah. "Mark, stop," she answered on the third ring. "You're embarrassing yourself." "Sarah, listen to me. The lateral loads, if a storm hits from the northwest, you're just jealous," she snapped. "Because Julian has vision and you just have rules." "Gravity is a rule, Sarah. You can't negotiate with physics." She hung up. I received a cease and desist letter the next day. Harassment of Vertex employees. I realized then, it wasn't just business. They wanted me erased. I sold the house. It was in my name, thank God. Bought before the marriage. Sarah tried to fight it, but the prenup held. I took the cash and drove. North. Past the city limits. Past the suburbs. Into the mountains. Found a cabin in the Cascades. A wreck. Rotting deck, leaking roof. Perfect. I spent the next year fixing it. Physical labor. Stripping wood. Pouring concrete. Hammering nails until my hands blistered and calloused. No phone, no internet. Just a radio and a dog I found at a shelter. Named him Buster. Buster didn't care about wind shear. He just wanted bacon. I healed. Slowly. The rage turned into something else. A cold, hard knot in my chest. I started drawing again. Not skyscrapers. Furniture. Small, intricate joinery. Tables that held together without screws or glue. Tension and compression. Pure physics. I sold a few pieces to a local gallery in the nearest town. Made enough to buy groceries and dog food. Life was simple. Quiet. Then the storm came. Not a metaphor. An atmospheric river. The storm of the century, the radio said. Winds gusting up to 80 miles per hour. I sat on my porch, watching the trees bend. My cabin held. I had reinforced the trusses myself. I drank coffee and patted Buster, and I thought about the Onyx. It was nearing completion. Top out was last month. They were installing the glass. I turned on the old TV I kept in the closet for emergencies. Fuzzy reception. Local news. The reporter was standing in downtown Seattle. Rain lashing sideways. Emergency services are cordoning off 4th Avenue. She was shouting. Camera pans up. To the Onyx. It looked like a shimmering ghost in the rain. And then I saw it. A panel of glass, 20 feet tall, detached from the 40th floor. It didn't just fall. It peeled away. Then another, and another. The modular facade was flexing too much. The gaskets were failing. The reporter screamed as a sheet of glass shattered on the pavement a block away. The building is swaying, she yelled. Visibly swaying. I watched. I felt nothing. No joy. No, I told you so. Just the grim satisfaction of math being proven right. The news cut to a statement from Vertex Group. Leo, looking pale, shouting over the wind. Unforeseen weather event. Act of God. Act of God my ass. Act of Julian. The feed cut as debris hit a transformer nearby. The next morning, the storm broke. The Onyx was still standing, but it was a skeleton. 40% of the glass was gone. The interior atriums were flooded. The structural stress had cracked the concrete core. I saw the photos online at the town library. Micro fractures in the load-bearing pillars. The building was condemned before it even opened. $1 billion paperweight. 2 days later, my burner phone rang. I hadn't given the number to anyone but the gallery owner. Hello? Mark. It was Leo. He sounded like he'd aged 20 years. How did you get this number? Private investigator. Cost me a fortune. What do you want, Leo? We need the original blueprints. I stayed silent. Mark, please. The insurance, the city, they're going to tear us apart. Julian deleted the old files. He overwrote them with his revisions to hide the changes. Julian sounds like a smart guy. He's gone. Fled back to Europe. Mark, they're talking about criminal negligence. Sounds serious. Sarah is... She's a mess, Mark. She's potentially liable too. She signed off on the interior load adjustments. I told her. I know. I told you both. I know, okay? You were right. You were always right. We were greedy and we were stupid. I listened to his breathing. Jagged, panicked. We need the originals to prove that the failure was in the modification, not the foundation. To show we started with a viable plan. It might save us from prison. You want me to save you. I'm asking you to save the legacy. Vertex. Vertex died the day you fired me. Mark, name your price. We have liquid cash left. A little. I'll give you everything. I looked at Buster sleeping by the wood stove. I looked at the table I was working on. Walnut and maple. Perfectly balanced. I don't want your money, Leo. Then what? What do you want? I want you to admit it. Admit what? Publicly. Press conference. That you ousted the founder to cut corners. That you prioritized aesthetics over safety. That I warned you and you fired me for it. Mark, that's legal suicide. We'll be sued into oblivion. Then enjoy prison. I hear the architecture is very brutalist. You'll hate it. I hung up, threw the phone into the wood stove, watched the plastic melt. A week later, I drove into the city. Just to see it. The Onyx was wrapped in safety netting. Police tape everywhere, a monument to hubris. I parked across the street, saw a figure exiting the side door of the Vertex building. Sarah, carrying a box. She looked thin, gaunt. She stopped on the sidewalk, looking up at the broken tower. She saw my truck, an old Ford F-150 covered in mud. She squinted. I rolled down the window. Her eyes widened. She took a step toward the curb. Mark? She looked like she hadn't slept in days. Mark. Oh God. Leo said he talked to you. He did. Do you have the files? I do. Please. They're going to charge us with fraud. They say we knowingly endangered lives. You did. Tears welled up in her eyes. Not the pretty crying she used to do to get her way. Ugly, desperate crying. I lost everything, Mark. The house. The reputation. Leo is falling apart. He's drinking again. I'm sorry to hear that. Can we just talk? Coffee? Like old times? I looked at her. I remembered the night she brought me coffee. I remembered the tennis bracelet. I remembered, you're just jealous. No, Sarah. Why are you doing this? Revenge? No, I'm just finished. What are you going to do with the proofs? The backups? I tapped the dashboard. I already sent them. Her face went white. Hope flickered. To the lawyers? To the Seattle Times. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. They're running the story on Sunday. The lost blueprints, how greed toppled the Onyx. You destroyed us. You destroyed yourselves. I just provided the documentation. I loved you, she whispered. A last-ditch lie. No, you loved the reflection of yourself you saw in me when I was winning. I rolled up the window, put the truck in gear. She stood there on the curb, clutching her box of office supplies, screaming something I couldn't hear through the glass. I drove back to the mountains. The article came out. It was brutal. Detailed every cut corner, every ignored warning email I had saved. Leo and Sarah were indicted 3 months later. Fraud, negligence. Vertex Group filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. The Onyx is being dismantled. Piece by piece. It was too damaged to save. A rival firm bought the lot. They hired a new architect, a young guy, obsessive, detail-oriented. I sent him an anonymous email. Check the soil density on the north quadrant. It's softer than the survey says. He emailed back. Who is this? I didn't answer. I'm back in the cabin. Winter is coming again? I'm building a new barn. Timber frame, mortise, and tenon. It will stand for 100 years. Buster is snoring. The coffee is hot. I am alone. And for the first time in my life, I am standing on solid ground. No wind shear, no glass facades, just structure and peace. Some foundations you have to pour yourself. And sometimes you have to watch the old ones crumble to know they were never real to begin with. Be me. Carpenter. Free. The end.